Oh, hello. Didn't see you there. Some light on. Good morning. Very early. About 5:30. Welcome back to Narrowboat Kate. That's better, I can see you now. One of the questions I'm asked is, what's a typical day like living on a narrowboat? I thought I would show you. So I'm going to take you along. I've got nothing particularly exciting planned. No cruising, just one of those typical lazy days living aboard. It's going to be just an ordinary day, and to be honest, quite often that is one of my favourite days. So let's get the kettle on. Most important part of the day. You know, there's something about that first coffee in the morning. I always like to take it outside on the bow of my boat for a few minutes before the day begins. And this has become one of my favourite routines in the morning. Just sitting here, listening to the birds, watching them, the ducks and the moorhens out on the water. It's magical. And just enjoying the peace, the quiet. I don't know why I'm whispering, but it is magical. 15 months ago I bought Kate because I completely fell in love with her. Love at first sight. Back then I hoped she'd become my retirement home, and now here I am, living the dream. Life aboard isn't always perfect. It's like I've got problems with my batteries. I can't have anything plugged in overnight. The only thing I leave on is my fridge, and even that tends to give up the ghost a little bit by early in the morning. I don't and never will pretend it is perfect on the boat. There are jobs to do, maintenance to keep on top of, and plenty of challenges along the way. But mornings like this remind me of exactly why I chose this lifestyle. I genuinely would not swap it for anything. Well, I better stop daydreaming. When the coffee's finished, I'll head back inside, have a wash, get shaved, and make myself look at least half presentable before we tackle the day's jobs. That's it, just about to go inside. Saw this little chap come past my boat. Nature, isn't it wonderful? I also want to point out, just see there, the water levels extremely low. That's actually gone down about 4 inches overnight. I can now step off my boat level with that arm go onto the ground, whereas before it would be a good 9-10 inches drop to step off my boat. The water level should be an inch or two below that arm go. Quite worrying. My boat is still floating, still rocks, so unless we do get rain, I might be grounded and stuck here. Let's hope for rain. for everybody. Breakfast this morning is nothing fancy, just a bowl of cereal, or actually granola. I think I'm going to add some goji berries. I've never really had these before, so I'm going to sprinkle a few on there. Should be interesting. One of my 5 a day. While I enjoy breakfast, I'll tell you what I've got planned for today. One of the things you probably notice about living on board a boat is that simple meals become perfectly normal. Okay, it's time to go and have my wash, shave, get changed. Don't think you really want to watch me do all that, so bye. See you in a bit. What's that? You do want to watch me? Okay, I'll give you 2 seconds of shaving and 2 seconds of washing. You're not going to watch me get changed though. If you've been watching my videos, you will have seen I do quite like a colourful shirt. Today I'm going yellow. I do like my bright colours in shirts. Last week I think it was purple, and then blue, got red, and this lovely lemon yellow colour. Well, that feels better now. Had a bit of a wash, freshen up. I'm going to be keeping shorts on today because it's going to be another warm one. Yesterday was about 30 degrees, today it's supposed to be about 27, so I'm going to open up the doors. One's been open all night. Kept it nice and cool this morning. I'll just open my bow doors, stern doors that way, the back of the boat, bow is the other way, and I'm going to eat my breakfast now. We're staying put today, so there won't be any cruising, but there's still plenty to get done. The stove needs cleaning out, so it'll be ready for when the colder weather arrives in a few months' time. I haven't used it for a while, so it does need a little TLC. I also want to climb into the engine bay and take some measurements because I'm thinking about replacing my aging batteries. As I mentioned earlier, batteries are struggling. They're definitely beginning to show their age. I'd like to see whether I can squeeze in some larger or additional batteries before winter, certainly new ones. After that, Kate could do with a good vacuum from one end to the other. Then we'll check on my little garden. I'm particularly excited to see whether my potatoes are ready for harvest. We'll water the plants and take a look at how the hydroponic tower is getting on. You can just see it there in the corner of the picture. So you'll see plants do actually grow in just water. I also need to film today's recipe for my other YouTube channel, One Pot Tiny Kitchen. So I'll show you a little bit about behind the scenes of how I make those videos. Later on I'll be checking my water and diesel, make sure I've got enough. I also want to do one little check which I've not done before. I've got this new product that basically detects water in diesel. So that should be quite interesting to see if I've actually got any in there and if I need to do something about it. I would like to clean all my windows inside and out. Not sure if I'm going to get to the outside of the canal facing windows, but we'll see how it goes. Because if they get a bit wet, they get very slippery and I do not want to fall in again. I also discovered this morning that I need to change my toilet cassette. Not the most pleasant of jobs, but I've got a little red light coming on which tells me it's full. So I'll show you how tricky that is in this particular boat to actually change that. Won't show you any of the gross bits, but it's a job that's got to be done. And then later on, hopefully I'll sit down and enjoy that meal that I'll be cooking later, and that's going to be a vegan korma. I haven't tried many vegan recipes, but I'm quite excited at doing this. It's actually a request from a viewer think this evening I'm going to be pulling down my projector screen, setting up the projector and watch some of my favourite YouTubers. And I'm also going to crack open a beer because I've actually bought some beers to the boat. Very nice they are too. So let's get on with doing these jobs. Nearly finished. So it's looking like a busy day, but nothing rushed. One thing I've learnt about boat life is that staying on top of maintenance makes life so much easier. Cleaning the stove is one of them. Down the bottom here is where I need to get the vacuum out and clean there. I'm going to wipe the outside, get the dust off, just make it look nice and pretty. This is my chimney. Again, I'll just wipe that down. The stove hasn't been used for a while, but before autumn arrives I want it cleaned out and ready to go. Now to clean inside I need a light. I've got this handy thing. It's only tiny but it's very powerful. Ideally I want something to hold that up. Let me just go and see if I can figure something out so I can hold the lid open. Then I can get in there and show you. I think I found something that should work. It's just a little hook that I had. I've got these so that I can hang my cooking utensils off. Ah, there you go, perfect. Now if I just quickly show you, just down there, I don't know if you can see right down the bottom there, if I just move the light, you can see there's like an ash at the bottom there and a little bit around the edge. I need to just vacuum all of that out as best I can. A little bit noisy. It's not the most elegant way of doing it, but it's all I've got at the moment. Now it wasn't too bad because I have actually cleaned it out fairly regularly when I was using it over the summer, which is always a good idea. Okay, I'm happy with the inside, so now I'm just going to wipe down the outside. One of the reasons I chose this stove was not only because it heats superbly well, keeps the boat nice and toasty, even on the lowest heat. At one point last year it was like -5 outside, it was like 25 inside. Fantastic. Also this plate here, I can actually use that for cooking, boiling a kettle, anything like that. I do love the copper colour, particularly on the chimney, and obviously the stove here, it slightly discolours and gets a tarnish on it, which makes it quite attractive, I think. And now we come to perhaps everyone's least favourite job, certainly mine, is to change my toilet cassette. In fact, there is one worse, it's emptying the toilet cassette. It's probably the most unpleasant thing to do on a boat. I just want to show you why I need to change it. As I got to the boat yesterday, I noticed that there is a red light on the top of my toilet. Now that doesn't mean to say it's broken, it just means my cassette is full, which means I need to change it. Now I can't do that from this side, I have to go out and under my bed. Now as I come out from where the toilet is into the corridor, there is my bed, and there is a little door there, and you can just see a new cassette which is empty. I need to change that for that one in there. So you can see it's a bit tight, so I need to lift up the mattress to get in there a bit more comfortably. Oh, sorry about the legs, but it's got to be done. If you hear a bit of huffing and puffing, that's me. So this mattress is heavy. Oh, blimey. I've got some slats underneath that support the mattress. I use them just to hold it up while I do the work. Take that one out so I can get access. Oh, you can see a bit better now. This is my spare empty one. Well, it's not quite empty, it's actually got 2 litres of water in there, and I need to add some disinfectant to help control the odours, if I put it that way. So I'll take that out, and I'll just leave that out of the way for now. And just under there is my full one, so I need to take that out. It is a bit tricky because there's like a guide that it needs to get into so you don't miss when you use it. So I can lift that out. As you can see, I'll try and lift that up, it lifts the whole thing. So I've got to try and get it past that. Next, put in the new one. Sorry about the noise. Right, new one goes in. As you push it in, it will guide it into the right position. Now you may ask, why have I got 2 litres of water in there? Or isn't that just going to fill it up? Yes, it does partly fill it up, but once you put the disinfectant in, that then sits with the water, and anything you produce goes into that, and that's how it controls the odours. And that's it. All I have to do now is put the blue in, which I'll do from the other side. As you can see, now that I've changed the cassette, the light has turned off, meaning it's ready to use. All I need to do, as I said, is to add some of the blue. Now, yes, I am supposed to measure this, but I haven't got a suitable measuring thing, so for now, just to help, just gonna job done. I showed you earlier how low this canal was where my boat is. As you can see, there is a distinct flow now on the canal, and canals don't have a flow normally. This is happening because all of a sudden it's 10 o'clock, there's about 5 or 6 boats going through the locks. Quite concerning that if we don't get rain very soon, that yes, we will be stuck where we are, because they'll just close everything up. No more cruising, except you might try and go up and down, but then you might get grounded because it's so low. I guess all we can do is pray for rain. There is some supposed to be due tomorrow, but it's like 5% late afternoon, which basically means it's not worth even thinking about, because it will just be a drizzle and that won't make any difference at all. Now for one of my favourite parts of the day. Let's check the plants. Now, I'm really hoping the potatoes are ready. I wouldn't mind using some of them for dinner. And I'll be looking forward to seeing what I could produce on the boat. As if it goes well, I'll do some more for next year. And we'll also give everything a good watering. But for now, I'd like to show you how the hydroponic tower is progressing. As I think I said in a video or two ago, I've brought plants indoors apart from the potatoes, and they seem to be loving it inside, especially with this light that's coming from the hydroponic tower. I've got lots of flowers, as you can see, on my chili pepper plants. Let's see if some of those will turn into actual chilies. Looking forward to that. And this one in the middle, I should say, and that's an avocado plant. And that seems to be enjoying it. I thought I'd killed that one, but it's recovered. It's a bit spindly, but it's recovered. Now this one had what looked like seeds come out of the onion plants that I picked last week, and some of them are actually growing. I wonder if they'll turn into onions. And the hydroponic tower, it's been going for about 4 weeks now, thereabouts, and as you can see I've already got some plants coming up. This one's back there, there's one around there, and some at the top. And these ones here, which have gone a bit haywire, that's actually lettuce. It won't be too long before I can start picking some of that and eating it. That one around there, that particular pot there, was supposed to have lettuce as well, but the seeds have not germinated. Right, around the back, which is a bit harder to film, is this plant here. And that is my pea plant. As you can see, it's doing extremely well. It's grown up about half the height of the tower so far. Let's see if we can get anything off of that. Now, I will admit, I haven't got much of a clue as to what I planted where. I've pointed out the lettuce, that's straightforward. The pea plant at the back, that's straightforward. However, some of the others I haven't got a clue, because I've since added the odd seed to some of the pots because it wasn't germinating. I'm pretty sure one of them is a chili plant as well, and also like bell pepper plant, that's the ones. And I had to be growing some of them at home as well, and they've done particularly well. I think I got 5 peppers off of them. Now, just so you know, they were not particularly huge. I forgot to keep feeding them the nutrients that they need to grow. And just a factoid, all peppers, bell peppers, start off green and then they change colour as they get close to ripening, from red to yellow. Some stay green depending on when you pick them. Well, here we go. Potato time. Got my trusty spoon. There's one there. Good size of that. Isn't that cute? Maybe these are sunsets. What? There we go. Why don't you please? Here's one. Oh, there's one there. A little bit bigger again. Oh, look at that. There you go. That's a proper one. First one that's a decent size. I've still got the sweet potato one in here. Just gently lifting to see if it's had any roots grow. There's a couple starting to come out, so I'm going to leave that sweet potato one in there and see if that does actually produce anything. So I have got some roots coming out the bottom, so I need to give that more time, obviously, and we'll give it a month or so, see what happens. Meantime, I'm going to show you my crop. It's not very impressive. Well, I've got a few potatoes. There's one decent one there, which I'll definitely be using. The other ones I may well just boil them and see how they get on, see how they taste. Now comes the less comfortable part, where I have to go into the engine bay, and then I'm going to be just doing a few rough measurements to see if I can fit in some new batteries. Here we go. This is a bit of an awkward panel to get out. It catches on things. Pull it out a little bit, lift it up, and all whilst trying not to trap your fingers. Careful where I step so I don't fall down. And there you go, that's done. Right, I'm currently in my engine bay, and now it is urgent because I've got a problem. 3 of my batteries are knackered, kaput, no good. The reason I say that, the first one, I could hear a noise as soon as I opened up the engine bay. I could hear a noise. Basically one of the batteries has actually split and it's bubbling away outside the battery, and it shouldn't be doing that. The other 2 are basically blown batteries. That's where the skin of the battery is bloating out basically. So I've isolated all the batteries. The one that's bubbling away, it's a lot less now since I've done that. It was very, very warm, almost too hot to touch, which tells me there's something seriously wrong inside, obviously. The other 3 are not so bad. They're not warm at all, even the ones that are blown. So isolated that, switched it off. All I'm running on now is solar power, so tonight it's gonna be dark. I need to try and find how I'm going to get some new batteries. So another headache, and as the saying goes, what does BOAT stand for? Bring out another 1,000. I'm hoping to spend a lot less than that on these batteries, but it's got to be done, and I have found somewhere that can get me some batteries. So this is the setup. Look alright from a distance, but that one there is bulging out. That one there is making the noise. Just there, it's actually bubbling a lot less than it was before. And this one seems okay, but this one again is bulging out. So that's either going to split at some point if I keep using it. The end one up there seems to be okay as well, but that's my starter battery. So it's isolated from these. So something has gone wrong with the system. I just need to replace them. And on a brighter note, I did actually, while I was down there, measure the batteries I've got currently and the new batteries that I'm looking at, and they will fit. They're about 5mm bigger than new ones, but there's a good inch space extra that they'll fit into, so that's some good news at least. So I'm going to leave the engine bay open for now so that I can check in a few hours time to make sure that battery has cooled down and nothing else has gone wrong down there. Right, I'll get on to some of these other jobs. This is something I have just got to show you. We haven't seen this in months. It's raining. Okay, it might not last long. And it was a 15% chance of rain, and we won. Hooray, keep going. Right, I think it's time to get Kate looking respectable again. It's actually incredible how much dust suddenly appears when you don't clean constantly. So I'm just going to get the vacuum and show you how quick it can be to clean my boat. There you go, job done. Okay, I know that was speeded up, but really doesn't take too long. Right, the eagle-eyed amongst you, just here, may have noticed some herbs, spices, garden mixed veg, and some cashew nuts. That is going to be my next job, is to cook vegan korma. Now this is where I cook the vegan korma that I said I was going to do, and you're going to have a bird's eye view of what I actually do. I've already prepped all the ingredients. You may note I've got them all lined up in the order that I'm going to use them. so it's ready to go. And there's my camera, my iPhone, which is my main camera. And first job we've got to do is, see, I need to get everything straight, is turn this camera on, get it positioned correctly, and then we go. Right, we're all prepped, we're all ready to go. First job is to put 2 tablespoons of olive oil into the pan, turn the heat on. We're going to add our onions, garlic and ginger. So I'll let that come up to the heat and stir it again in a moment. This is the problem with cooking on a boat. So I've now got a boat coming past, so I have to stop filming and carry on in a moment. Forget ordering takeout tonight. You know, it's amazing the difference clean windows make. Sadly, I'm not going to get to find out properly because I'm not going to be able to get to the outside, but I'll do the inside. That'll make a difference. Well, it might not look like it, but the inside is clean. Let's do this side. Just checking for spiders. They seem to like this side of the boat and the other one. Maybe it's the sunshine. That's done. Now hopefully be able to get to the outside maybe tomorrow, maybe next week. Oh, I'm good at that, procrastinating. Oh well, let's crack on. What I'm going to do now is something that all boaters should really check at least once a week, and that is how much water I've got and how much diesel I've got in my tank, just to make sure I can get to where I need to get to. And I've also got something else I want to check, which I'll show you next. I'm just on the stern of my boat. I'm about to check my diesel levels, but I'm also going to check if there's any water in my diesel. How do I do that? Well, I've got this product here called Colour Cut, and it was recommended to me by an engineer at Creek Boat Show this year, so I thought I'd get some, and I'm just about to try it out. It comes out as a golden colour out the tube, and if there's water in your diesel, that turns red. So let's hope it stays golden. So I just open up my tank. As always, being very careful not to drop the top into the water. That would not be good. Now I've got 2 sticks very similar. One's got a pink end. That is my diesel. All the way down to the bottom. It comes up to just about there. So I've got maybe a third of a tank, something like that. So not too bad. What I forgot to do was put the colour cut on my stick. So I'll do that again. Okay, so I'll put some on my stick there. I'm not sure if you can see that. I'm just going to dip that into the tank. And look at that. It's come out absolutely the same colour. Now that means I don't have any water in my diesel, which is ideal. To get rid of water out of your diesel tank is not particularly easy. Okay, that's the diesel check. Next we do the water. I thought I'd just check this actually. So I've got a tap, it's got water in. You can see it's that nice golden colour, so I'm just going to get a few drops of water. As you can see, drop the water on and it instantly goes red. So it does work. Fantastic. I'm going to keep that in my toolbox. Excellent. As you can see, I'm in the bow of the boat. Please excuse my slippers, please. They're comfortable. This shouldn't be too empty, or it should be quite full. I filled it up last week, but it's still worth doing checks. There's the level, so it's nearly full, and the level's just about there. Plenty of water. These are really very simple checks, as you just seen, but if you forget to do them and you run out or you run very low, you obviously have to make an unexpected trip, and it could be absolutely miles away. Like for example, right now my nearest diesel place where I can get diesel is 12 miles up the canal that way. So I want to make sure I've got enough, which I have. A third of a tank is plenty to get me there and beyond. And the water, if I really am desperate now, the water point is 50 yards that way, so it won't be a problem getting water for now, at least until I get my batteries fixed. Now it was at this point I was going to say the best part is dinner, and I was going to show you me eating it, but I can't do that because I've already eaten it and it was delicious. So if you get a chance, make that. If you really don't like the idea of vegan food, just put some chicken in there or something like that. It'd be absolutely fine. It was nice. I guess that's one of the perks of running a cooking channel. You get to eat what you make. Yum. Now, as the evening settles in, it's, where are we? Around about 6 p.m. Sun's not due to go down for another 3 hours, 2.5 hours, something like that. I think I'll settle in and watch some of my favourite YouTubers. Set up the projector with the projector screen and just sit there, crack open a beer and enjoy it. The time has come. It's early evening now, and around about this time I usually settle in and spend an hour or two watching some of my favourite vloggers. I just want to see what adventures they've come up with, and it's quite exciting actually sometimes watching some of these guys. Some of my favourites, obviously One Pot Tiny Kitchen, don't know what he's like. Duo Vagari, now they took a absolutely dilapidated wide beam boat, and it was literally rust from one end to the other, half filled with water, and they've turned it into an amazing home, which sadly in the last few weeks, month or so, they've actually sold it now and they've moved to Australia. They assure us they're still going to carry on doing some sort of adventure while they're over there, so have a look up for them. It's a fascinating project. Narrowboat Life Unlocked, really nice guys, very genuine, love to watch their channel. Country House Gent, Kevin has been going for years and years. He travels around on his boat, and he also travels around on his motorbike. Elle's Kitchen, I get some inspiration there, I must admit, for some of the curries. that I cook, and Ben and Emily. They're a fascinating couple. They've had a narrowboat, they've had a tiny little narrowboat which they took around with them. They're currently travelling around Europe, perhaps Spain at this moment, so look them up. Really engaging couple, love them. Chuggabug, he's been going for years, calls himself Captain Gary. That came along as almost a mistake when he was filling in the form that you have to do on YouTube. And of course, not forgetting Cruising the Cut. David has been going for, well, since the beginning of time, I think. And he's a fantastic presenter and always engaging episodes that he produces. Now, I'm not allowed to show you any of their videos for copyright reasons, but I've mentioned all their names. Please go and have a look at them. They're really, really good. And of course, only after you subscribe to me. I'd really appreciate that. Thank you. So I think it's about time to crack open a beer and watch a video. I do believe I'm allowed to show you this one because this is my channel. Red One Afloat. This is my latest video, Low Water, or the one before this one. And it's just about moving actually. I've been in this part of the canal for a few weeks now, and it's really that time that I moved away from this area. Okay, it's enough of that. If you'd like to watch that, please just get back to the front screen and you can put it on there as long as you watch all the other videos. I'd appreciate that. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay, I think that's enough of the adverts. Got a beer. It's this Brewdog Hazy Jane Tropical. It's quite nice actually. I quite like it. So here's to another good day on Narrowboat Kate. Cheers. Well, that's been a fairly ordinary, typical day aboard Narrowboat Kate. No dramatic adventures. I had a breakdown, yes. I'm supposed to have no breakdowns, but I did have a breakdown. I need to replace all my batteries because you can't just replace one, you've got to do them all because they are completely kaput. No cruising. We haven't done any of that for a week or so. Basically, it's just everyday life. And honestly, that's exactly what I wanted in this video today. Sometimes people think life on a narrowboat is about travelling every day. But the reality of it is, most days are like this one. You don't travel every day. For one, it costs a lot in diesel. Diesel prices are not great at the moment. And it's just a normal day. Yeah, it's not too different to living in a brick house. The only difference is my home floats and I can move, have a different scenery every day. I've still got jobs to do, as you saw, vacuuming, cleaning windows. Still got to cook. Still got to maintain your home. Okay, maybe at home you don't have to get new batteries, but you still got to do some maintenance. And as I said, the only difference is my home floats. So if you've enjoyed spending a day with me aboard Narrowboat Kate, I really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And please leave some comments in the comment section below. I do love to read them when I'm sat on the bow with my coffee in the morning. It's quite funny sometimes and quite informative sometimes, especially if I get something wrong, which I have done. I'm not an all fountain of knowledge. So thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate all your support, and until next time, take care and I'll see you out there.